Once upon a time, two friends joined forces to bring you the best in horror entertainment. Brian from the north, Tim from the south, each bringing their own unique perspective to the horror community. Movie reviews, Blu-ray releases, beer pairings, games, and more. Welcome to your new home for horror. This is Civil Gore.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Civil War Podcast. I'm your host Tim with a shot voice and very tired, along with my esteemed co-host,
who is also tired and fighting some kind of. It's not COVID, but I don't know if we caught something at Hallow Scream or whatever. But Julie and I are both fighting some kind of cold. COVID tests were negative, of course, so we're okay there. But it's like, who knows what we have? And same with Tim; he's fighting something on his end, so we probably caught some kind of some bug at Busch Gardens or something from Hallow Scream. I don't know. Definitely wasn't from the food because that was hard to find. We'll go into that during our recap.
You'll hear that. You'll hear that. Well, you probably already heard that as you're hearing this, but yeah, that was in our recap. We're recording this a little bit out of order tonight. We're recording the Dismemberment first, and then what you heard yesterday, the Busch Gardens recap was coming up next. So a little bit of switcheroo there. October was a huge month. I mean, almost 50 horror releases this month. So we had to split this up. There's no way we could get it all in one show. So we are going to cover the first 2 weeks, as you're hearing this, October 4th, and next week, October 11th. So I guess we'll get right into it before my voice goes completely.
Yes, so keep Tim going.
So these are our Blu-ray releases for October 4th, and you're going to find a lot of familiarity here because these are a lot of reissues. Coming up first, we're going to skip over Brian's pick of the week, and first let me tell you, we're going to have a Last Exorcism Part 2 reissue, random, but there you go. It's funny, in October, it seems like every company just reissues all these old random titles.
Yeah.
So the first one up here that is not a pick of the week, which definitely could have been.
Yeah,
in fact,
these could have been. Well,
all these could have been, yeah. It is Army of Darkness 4K from Shout Factory, of course, 1992. Ash is accidentally transported to 1300 AD and must save the living from the dead, rescue his medieval girlfriend, and get back to his own time. One of my all-time favorites. Again, 4K release. This one, I do want to mention, we're doing a little slight change up with this Discmemberment. It may spread to other ones in the future, depending. We really had to do it on this one because there were so many extras that a lot of the extras were repeats from previous disc issues. So I asked Brian, I was like, you know what? In order to save time and kind of save your guys' sanity that are listening to this, what about we just cover what the new features are? And if there were more extras than what we're covering, we'll say, hey, just look at the old disc. You can kind of get a rundown of what the other previously released extras are. So if you hear some of these seem kind of short on extras, especially the Shout Factory Collector's Editions, it's because the previous extras were already released on previous disc, and they're just repeated on this disc.
And for all we know, we've already discussed them too.
Probably, yeah.
They may have been on previous Dismemberments.
So that's the case with this one. We have all the previously released extras of the previous Army of Darkness disc, but we also have some new stuff here, which is mainly the new 4K restoration of the film from the camera negative, approved by director Sam Raimi, director of photography Bill Pope, and editor Bob Murawski. And you're going to get the theatrical cut on 4K Blu-ray, the theatrical cut on regular Blu-ray, the director's cut on regular Blu-ray, and the international cut on regular Blu-ray. So
wow, that's like 4 cuts of this film.
Yeah.
Or 3 cuts of the film, but 4-disc Blu-ray. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so this one, if you don't have a 4K version of Army of Darkness, which I think this is the first one that came out, so this is definitely a good pick, even though you may already have the extras from the previous disc.
Yeah. Next one's kind of random. Just because it's Paramount is releasing just Scream 2 in 4K. I think the other ones are already released, but I don't know why they're singling out Scream 2 this month. But for 1997, of course. If you didn't know, away at college, Sidney Prescott thought she'd finally put the shocking murders that shattered her life behind her until a copycat killer begins acting out real-life sequel. Now, as history eerily repeats itself, ambitious, not ambitious.
Well, she's kind of ambitious.
She might be ambitious. Oh, did we just create a new word?
I mean, she is Gail Weathers. She is kind of
But no, she's cool though. But ambitious reporter Gail Weathers, Deputy Dewey, and other Scream survivors find themselves trapped in a terrifyingly clever plotline where no one is safe or beyond suspicion. And basically, this is identical to the previous extras, so we're not going to go into any because they were all the same extras before, so you can look that up.
All right, now here's some.
That's another weird one.
Yeah,
kind of.
Sorry, my voice keeps breaking because I'm literally losing my voice as we speak. Which is not great for a podcast host.
Yeah.
So
we
Shout
need
Factory,
a lozenge. We need a lozenge.
Timmy throat hurt.
Timmy in pain. Timmy throat hurt.
From Shout Factory, we have the Halloween 4K collection. This is the second half of the previously released Halloween 4K collection, 1995 to 2002. In these three films from one of the longest-running horror series in cinema history, Michael Myers takes on Tommy Doyle and Dr. Loomis with help from a mysterious cult, comes face-to-face with Laurie Strode again, and slashes his way through the cast of a reality TV show in what is arguably the worst Halloween entry of all time. This is a weird set because, as Brian points out, you're still missing some movies from the franchise here. First up, we have the Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. This has a 4K Blu-ray theatrical cut with a new 4K restoration of the film from the original camera negative, and a new audio commentary with screenwriter Daniel Farrens and actress Marianne Hagen, moderated by filmmaker Michael Perez. That one also comes with the 4K Blu-ray producer's cut and the regular Blu-ray theatrical and producer's cuts.
Which, if you have that big set that Tim and I have, it's all in there.
Yeah.
That's what's just so weird about these like micro sets. It's like Shout Factory, if they obviously have the rights to these, it seems like they have all of them. Well, I guess they probably don't. They might not have the three, Blumhouse ones, and they might not have the Rob Zombie ones. But it seems like they got everything else. Maybe they could just do a little negotiation, a couple of years, just release all of them.
They had the old set had the Rob Zombies in it. That's what.
They did. Yeah, that's right. But that was a Shout Factory though. I don't think Shout Factory did it.
Yeah, the old set was Shout Factory.
Oh, was that that one we had?
Yeah.
Oh, so why didn't they just release a brand new one?
I don't know. That's what I don't get. Yeah. I'm kind of bummed that
just followed by ginger ale.
I'm kind of bummed that they re-releasing all this mess in 4K or nice box sets and they're just re-releasing them in 4K, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. There's extras features too that we didn't get to on some of these.
Yeah. Halloween H2O has just the 4K Blu-ray and a new 4K restoration of the film from the original camera negative. Disc 6 is the Blu-ray, just a regular version Blu-ray of Halloween H2O, and then Halloween Resurrection gets a new 4K restoration of the film from the original camera negative. And we get some new extras here. Now, again, this is in addition to previous released extras that you'll find from the old box set. You get a new Haddonfield North interview with production designer Troy Hansen, new sister, Scream Queen sister, an interview with stunt coordinator and longtime Jamie Lee Curtis stunt double Donna Keegan, new Hellraiser, an interview with special makeup effects coordinator Gary J. Tunnicliffe, new The Youngest Shape, an interview with actor Gary Clayton, new The Butcher and the Blade, an interview with actor Sean Patrick Thomas, and new Tales from the Script, an interview with comic book author Steph Hutchinson. So at least they put some new extras on here to kind of get you to double dip. Yeah. Although I'm not going to be double dipping on this set. I'm
waiting for the eventual big one. They'll come out with it again.
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
Next one, we're skipping because Tim's pick of the week is next. Next one we go to Criterion's coming out with Night of the Living Dead, and that's the original, 1968. So, as Tim puts it, well, not Tim, but Tim's copy and paste, a disparate group of individuals, this is a typo there, takes refuge in an abandoned house when corpses begin to leave the graveyard in search of fresh human bodies to devour. Of course, one of the classic of all time, classic zombie movies, kind of nice getting in 4K, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's 4K, yeah.
It's funny, it doesn't say 4K like on the title, but Criterion's releasing it in 4K. And, it's good that Criterion's taking, like, something that, like, the horror fans really, I mean, I know Criterion does some horror, but, like, it's nice, like, something like this, which is usually one of the, the epitome of, when people say, what's your favorite horror movie? This comes up a lot.
A lot of times Criterion's kind of seen as, like, the definitive version to own.
Yeah. And it's funny because they don't always have the most special features, but like I have that Criterion of like Don't Look Now, like some of the other ones I got, like the Silence of the Lambs, we bought that Criterion. They do have really good things because I think they try and get the best, like they go for a balance. They try and get like really good features, but not like superfluous ones, and they try and go for the best image and sound quality.
Right. Yeah, they're not going to put extras on to sacrifice audio visual quality.
Right.
Yeah, so,
Then I could just put an extra on for extras, like some places, like we know, like where they're like, oh, the special feature, like an 8-minute segment from the craft services supervisor.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, yeah, they don't go for extra quantity, they go for extra qualities. But anyway, so there is a lot of features that are new on this, because I guess this is essentially a new disc. I mean, there's a million versions of this film. Isn't it in like public domain technically or something?
Yeah, it's in public domain, so you could find this. Yeah. I mean, you could probably
get it as cheap as possible. You can get it 99 cents at a gas station to like an ultimate 4K Blu-ray now.
You can lift your couch cushion, and there's probably a couple copies under.
Yeah,
there.
like I think I have a couple of it. Like I have the one where they redid it, where they added new scenes to it. They filmed like current day black and white sequences. And then
yeah, I mean,
animated
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a lot there. Anyway. So it's a previous completed 4K restoration of the film, supervised by director George A. Romero, co-screenwriter John A. Russo. So we're chuckling because he's like a New Jersey HorrorCon like mainstay, and we assumed he was going to be the first desk announced.
I don't think he ever leaves.
But he was.
I think he just has his chair there, and they just build the whole thing around.
You think he's like, instead of Vegas residency, he did New Jersey HorrorCon residency?
Apparently, yeah.
Well, people live at that to showboat. You know, they have like those floors where people could live on. It's like they have resident floors technically now. But I don't know if that'll stay once they finalize the thing, because like even when we were there the last time, how different it was, and they were adding the water park, and I think they're kind of doing a more of a resorty feel. So definitely like the way the place is shaping up now with that fun arcade and everything. They just need to get games that work.
Yeah, I think they're probably just gonna have to move his chair while they work around him, and then move him back. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe move him next door so he can get a better breakfast. But anyway, so he's sound engineer Gary R. Striner and producer Russell W. Striner. They're all doing they all supervise their restoration, which is nice. Previous restored monaural soundtrack supervised by Romero and Gary Striner. In the 4K Blu-ray edition, you get one 4K Blu-ray disc of the film and two Blu-rays with the film and special features, Night of the Anubis, a work print edit of the film. So that's kind of cool. Program return. See, that's like a Criterion feature if I've ever heard one like that.
You wouldn't normally see.
Yeah. Program featuring filmmakers Frank Darabont, Guillermo del Toro, and Robert Rodriguez. That's kind of cool. I kind of like those.
Mm-hmm.
When they have other filmmakers and they talk about like what it meant to them. 60mm dailies reel program featuring Russo on the commercial and industrial film production company where key Night of the Living Dead participants got their start. 2 audio commentaries from 1994 featuring Romero, Russo, producer Carl Hardman, actor Judith O'Day, and others. It says it's also got some archival interviews with Romero and actors Dwayne Jones and Judith Ridley. Programs about the film's style and score, interview program about the direction of the film's ghouls, featuring members of the cast and crew. Then finally, it's got interviews with Gary Striner and Russell Striner, newsreels from 1967, trailer, radio spots, and TV spots, plus an essay by critic Stuart Klawans. He's just a critic, so he gets no bio yet.
No.
But that's pretty good. I might have to pick that one up.
I don't actually own this on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I have a version of it, but I don't know which version. So I'll probably get this one. This one looks like the one to have for the time being.
Next up, a couple of smaller releases. This one's from Wellgo USA called They Crawl Beneath from 2022.
I don't have an answer for that.
Oh, Alexa just thought I was talking to her.
I heard. I was like, Tim, there's someone in your room.
Sometimes she just randomly wants to get in on the podcast. I think she has some aspirations, but I'm not letting her piggyback on my fame.
No.
All right, so young police officer Danny, Joseph Almonte, is working on an antique car at his uncle's remote ranch when a major earthquake hits, pinning him under the vehicle and leaving him bloodied alone and with no way to call for help. Just when he thinks the claustrophobic nightmare can't get any worse, something truly horrifying emerges from the fissures in the ground, forcing Danny to engage in a brutal fight for his life and his sanity. This actually looks pretty cool, as you said, Brian.
It does. It's. I like those kind of horror films when there's like. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that one. Oh my god. Now I can't remember the name of it, but it was the one where the people get trapped in the empty pool with like an alligator. Like those kind of films are always like kind of cool because they add in the claustrophobia feature with a creature. It's like they take two kind of subgenres of horror films and mix them into one, and those always. but they're hit or miss. I think this one, based on the look of it, looks kind of cool because I have to say I have not really seen this one before, where someone gets trapped under a car and then creatures come and get them. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think usually those type of movies, I go, man, I can't see how this movie can be longer than 20 minutes based on the premise. But yeah, they always somehow seem to find a way to make it interesting. So
that's setup. Yeah, well, that one, I like that one with the alligator and the pool.
Yeah.
Because that one was like, I was like, oh my god, how on earth are they gonna like get out of this? How is this gonna go? It's gonna end, and it actually kept like surprising me with a couple of things. But anyway, sorry, not to take away from They Crawl Beneath, which does look actually pretty cool. And
no extras on that.
I want to check it out. Yeah, nothing. Final one is Infuse releasing. I think that's a new one for us.
I believe so, yeah.
It says Plaga Zombie, American Invasion from 2021. I'm not sure what Plaga Zombie means, but anyway. It says in 1997, an alien race attempted an invasion of a small city of Argentina by fertilizing the human population, turning them into bloodthirsty zombies. The plan almost worked until 3 unlikely heroes emerged, battling back the zombies and ultimately destroying the alien mothership. It could have been the movie itself. And it says, now 16 years later, the aliens are back on their to their old tricks. I don't know why that made me laugh. Like their old tricks. It makes it turns it into like a comedy. Like those zany aliens, they're back to their old tricks. Anyway, their target this time around is America. The city of New Bedford, Massachusetts, is quickly overrun by an alien zombie infestation. To contain the outbreak, the American government detaches the city at its fault line, setting it adrift into the Atlantic Ocean. Amazingly, 4 new heroes emerge and must not only battle through the hordes of zombies, stop the alien invasion, but also anchor the floating city before it smashes head-on into the Azore Islands. Oh no, that's where Julie's family's from. The Azores Islands. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's...
Gotta tell Julie about this movie, then.
Yeah.
But, it's like a zombie comedy, and it's just another one. But now that I read the topic, I kind of want to see how the floating city
it's an ambitious plot line. I'll give them that.
Yeah, it's a lot for a plot line. It's probably for a movie that's probably like barely 80 minutes, I bet.
Yeah. All right, so now it's time for our picks of the week. Me and Brian split decision on this one, which is not surprising because, like I said,
it could have gone either way, yeah.
A ton of these could be picks of the week. And to be quite honest, mine probably doesn't deserve pick of the week only because it only adds a couple of new extras. I believe this has already been restored in 4K, so this is not...
I think it was like a bare bones version, though.
Yeah, so this is not like something that is like packed with extras or the definitive edition or whatever, but it's just a movie that I absolutely love. It's one of my favorites of all time. That is Bram Stoker's Dracula in 4K from 1992. A young English lawyer, Jonathan Harker, is sent to a gloomy village in Eastern Europe. He is captured and imprisoned by the undead vampire Dracula, who travels to London, inspired by a photograph of Harker's betrothed, Mina Murray. In Britain, Dracula begins a reign of seduction and terror, draining the life from Mina's closest friend, Lucy Westenra. Lucy's friends gather together to try to drive away Dracula and rescue Mina. I love this movie. I remember going to see it in the theater. I remember it was one of the first DVDs I ever bought. It was the first movie I ever played on my surround sound system. It's a score I absolutely love. I've got to get that score on vinyl at some point. There is a vinyl release of this. It's really nice. But I picked this one just for the love of the movie, and this is one I'm going to buy. And that's why it's my pick of the week. It does have a previously restored 4K version, Dolby Vision HDR presentation of the film, including the original theatrical English subtitle font for texted instances for you font nerds out there. The 2 new features here are a newly added Love Song for a Vampire music video by Annie Lennox.
How was that not on any of the other releases either? Because that's like it's such a great song.
I know. And then newly added Bloodlines Dracula, the Man, the Myth, the Movies featurette. Then you also have the regular Blu-ray disc, which also, of course, has the 4K master and some previously released extras from the previous version. So
I'm surprised this one doesn't have a criterion of it. I thought it might.
I know, have, but... yeah. It's such an iconic movie, iconic score. It's still talked about today as one of the best, Dracula versions. So, but yeah, it's a good excuse for me to pick this back up. I don't believe I've got this on anything other than DVD. I don't think I ever bought the Blu-ray of it. So
yeah, no, I have it on a couple of formats, but I want to say part of me thinks it might have been on Criterion at one point, but I could be wrong.
We'll have to look that up. And the DVD I've got is the old Superbit. I think it was called Superbit. What was it called? You remember what I'm talking about? They would not put any extras on the DVD.
Bit, yeah.
And then they would just like up the video and audio quality above normal DVD. That's the version I still have. My original.
I remember they did that. Remember the VHS ones, the super versions of those that really looked exactly the same.
Yeah.
But so it's funny. So my pick of the week is staying in the vampire vein, but it's a little bit more of a classic 80s one, and that's Fright Night in 4K from 1985. It says, of course, the story is a horror-obsessed teenager discovers that his next-door neighbor is a murderous vampire. That's one of my favorite ones from the 80s. That was just a fun movie to always watch. We haven't done that one yet. I'm surprised we have not done that yet.
That needs to be high on our list.
I know Kim and Ket did it. We should do that, though.
Yeah, I think we should. I think put that one on the list to do.
Yeah,
soon.
I have to put that on there because that's a fun one.
And I'm due for a rewatch. So
yeah, same here. Then we can maybe buy this version, and then we have a good start. This one's got a lot of new features to it. It's a 4K restoration of the film from the original camera negative, all new Dolby Atmos audio soundtrack, 5.1 plus original Dolby stereo. So here's where the new features come. The disc on disc 2 for the Blu-ray, it says a new deleted scene storyboard. Tom Holland guides us through the film's only deleted scene using his personal pre-production storyboards. So I should say deleted scene. Yeah. New Holland beta spec trailer with an introduction by Tom Holland, and not Spider-Man Tom Holland, obviously. Yeah. The never before seen alternate trailer cut by Fright Night editor Kent Beta with the guidance and narration of Tom Holland.
So that would be interesting if the Spider-Man Tom Holland oversaw all of the remastering and featurettes of these.
It'd be kind of funny. Disc 3 is another Blu-ray, and that's got the new Fright Night 35th Anniversary script read. And it says the anniversary cast reunion and script reading featuring writer-director Tom Holland and special guests including Rosario Dawson, Jason Patric, and many more.
That's entertaining.
Yeah. So the new, it says The Queer Lens. Brian Fuller in conversation with Amanda Bierce, a candid discussion between Fright Night aficionado Brian Fuller from Hannibal, Queer for Fear, The History of Queer Horror, which is amazing documentary coming to Shudder. I watched the first 3 episodes because we got the screeners. Definitely a really, really cool, another one of these documentary series that Shudder just nails to a T. They're so good with the stuff they have on there. And it's funny, we got the first one, it's like a 2-hour movie, but technically they broke it up. So when I think it might be out already, but I can't remember when it comes out, but it's basically, I don't know how many total episodes. I know we have the first 3 though, and they're really good because they go to a lot of the Universal monster movies actually too.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of those they go through a bunch of those older movies when that's the subject of homosexuality couldn't really be presented on film so openly. They had to kind of hide it in some of the context, and so that they go over that a lot. It's really good. So then then the next one is a new novel approach, a splatterpunk story of the Fright Night novelization. Tom Holland Fright Night novelization authors John Skipp and Craig Spector and publisher Mark Allen Miller discuss how progenitors? I don't know. I never heard this word before. Progenitors of the splatterpunk genre came to work on the book, their writing process, and the novel's enduring legacy. New SF storyboard comparisons, a selection of original storyboards from key effects sequences compared with their final filmed versions, and then previously released extras. Yeah. Sometimes I read these too fast, and I just imagine the wrong word.
There's a lot of previously released extras, so that's just the new stuff. It tells you how packed that disc is. So definitely worth a pick of the week. Stuff. So to recap the week of October 4th, we had Army of Darkness 4K. Scream 2 4K, Halloween 4K Collection, which has the Halloween H2O, Halloween Curse of Michael Myers, and Halloween Resurrection. We had Night of the Living Dead Criterion version, They Crawl Beneath from 2022, and Plague of Zombie American Invasion from 2021. My pick of the week was Bram Stoker's Dracula in 4K 1992, and Brian's pick of the week was Fright Night 4K from 1985. That brings us to the week of October 11th. Pretty good, solid week, although not as high on the reissues and remasters front. And the first one up here is we had a Nosferatu 1922 100th anniversary reissue, but didn't really deserve its own section because it's really just the same disc you've seen before. It's just that they just labeled it 100th anniversary and called it a day. So there's nothing really new or remarkable about it other than they just slapped that on the cover. So the first actual release this week is from Warner Archive, Mark of the Vampire, 1935. After Sir Carol Boreton is found dead in his study, drained of his blood, the local doctor determines that he was killed by a vampire. The coroner and police inspector Newman dismissed the suggestion, but a year later, Sir Carol's daughter is attacked and bite marks are found on her throat. Newman calls in the eminent Professor Zelen, who thinks the story of vampires is true. The locals are convinced that Count Mora and his daughter Luna are the perpetrators of the crime, creatures of the night that can turn themselves into bats. There may be another solution, however, and the professor sets a trap. But this was.
Do you think he comes in? He goes like, "Hello, Jerry."
That's all I could picture every time I read Inspector Newman. So this one looks really cool. I don't think I've ever seen this one.
Yeah. But I mean, come on, Bela Lugosi is a vampire. That's on brand.
Yeah, that's definitely on brand. So definitely one I want to kind of check out.
Yeah, and that's right after the Universal.
Right after
one,
the
right?
Dracula, yeah.
Okay. Speaking of. The next disc we have is the Universal Classic Monsters Icons of Horror Collection Volume 2, and that's from 1932 to 1954. Basically just reissues of the same sets, just in a nice little tidy collection here. It says from Universal Pictures, home of the monsters since the era of silent movies, comes the second volume of Universal Classic Monsters Icons of Horror Collection, showcasing 4 more of the iconic monsters in motion picture history. The Mummy, The Bride of Frankenstein, Phantom of the Opera, which we didn't do in our set, but...
They never released a set of him, though.
Yeah, and that's why. I mean, we could do a part 2 if should they ever release some of those other ones. But Phantom of the Opera and Creature from the Black Lagoon, starring Boris Karloff, Elsa Lanchester, and Claude Rains in the roles they made famous. These iconic films set new standards for horror with groundbreaking makeup, cinematography, and special effects that have withstood the test of time. And you're probably annoyed with hearing all that because we just kind of told it to you for 8 weeks straight over the summer. But same extras as the previous sets, just not put into the into disc. So I don't know if you even get all of these, do you? Do you get like every creature one in there, or just?
I don't think so. I think these are selected. I could be wrong, but I don't. Yeah, I don't. I think this is kind of like
something tells me it's not all.
Yeah, I think it's more like a curated set where you're just getting the main ones. Next up from MVD Visual, we have Disturbing Behavior from 1998. The new kid in town stumbles across something sinister about the town's method of transforming its unruly teens into upstanding citizens. That was always like Brian said, this was a fun one back in the 90s. It has an audio commentary by director David Nutter, deleted scenes and alternative ending with optional commentary by director David Nutter, original theatrical trailer, reversible artwork, collectible mini poster, and first pressing only, you get that limited edition slipcover.
Yes. So the next one is from Wild Eye Releasing. I think we've gotten them before, and this was that documentary that's been. I think it's been on Shudder, right?
Yeah, it has. One? Yeah, it's been.
So I think we've all probably seen this. Smoke and Mirrors, the story of Tom Savini, not Salvini though.
Salvini.
That's another documentary altogether. That's coming out next year. A documentary about the life of Tom Savini. The film covers his early days in Pittsburgh and his rise to stardom as Hollywood's most sought after special effects wizard. And there's a drinking game you can play every time he says "my friend Tasso." You gotta drink. Anyway, and it's got hours of bonus content, exclusive exclusive slipcover, and folded poster. You know, with the amount of times I've said exclusive slipcover,
I know.
Yeah, in this Dismember, you figure that shouldn't have been easy to say, but we're tired. So, but yeah, no, as far as documentaries go, that's one of those horror documentaries that's really like just one of the great ones. And I don't know, if you're like Tim and I and you love horror documentaries like that, this one's definitely a top-notch one for you to check out if you haven't yet.
Don't miss the extra feature where I awkwardly come to his table and
yes, that's added for this release. I meant to say that. Sorry, there was that one new bonus feature.
All right, so release number 6 here, IFC Films, Barbarians, not the new one, 2021. 4 friends come together for a celebratory dinner party at a country house. But as the night progresses, dark secrets emerge and unsettling events begin to unfold around them. I mean, look, this one looks decent.
Yeah.
I always get a little... I mean, did they release this because it's just coincidentally there was a film named this and it was supposed to come out at the same time? Or did they release it just to confuse people and hope they bought it? That's
you know what? I'm so convinced that because it happens way too often.
It does.
Where a movie that's so close to it and people like just bank on the name recognition. Like, oh, that's the one I hear everyone talking about. Oh, wait, this is not it.
And
But they've already like invested in it.
Yeah,
so.
that's just like an underhanded marketing technique. I just
Yeah, I mean, we're not sure, but I mean, that's like, I just think
we're
it's
on
too
to you,
coincidental.
IFC Films.
Yeah,
we're just kidding.
little coincidental, yeah. But anyway, like Emily was telling us that Barbarian, the new one that's out, is amazing.
I've heard nothing.
Yeah,
but
I want
things,
to see that.
Yeah.
The next one is from one of our favorite places, Mondo Macabro.
Mondo Macabro,
which we have to come up with a really good
yeah.
thing for that. But anyway, and this one is Love Brides of the Blood Mummy, 1970. This is like just they had to add it had to be Love Brides and it had to be Blood Mummy. It couldn't be Brides of the Mummy, but now they had to. Anyway, revived mummy needs the blood of a young woman to slake his thirst.
I love that. Slake his thirst.
Looks like I wrote. Looks like what you would expect. Works for the horror challenge too, by the way.
Yeah.
Which because there's that one objective where you have to do another one that's a mummy.
I guarantee you could close your eyes and basically construct this trailer in your mind without ever having seen the movie.
Yep. Absolutely, 100%. Oh, and by the way, while we're on not to just go on a slight tangent, about the horror challenge too, because it came up with, I think Cody was asking us some questions. Just one of the clarifications is, and I looked this up to be sure make sure I wasn't just speaking out of nowhere, but so. One of the challenges you have to, you could watch something that's, either a mummy or a vampire, blah blah blah. The creatures of the Universal monster films. Oh, I mean, at least unless you disagree with me, I mean, any kind of werewolf movie will count as a wolf man. Because I read interesting things about if it's just about a wolf and there's no transformation involved, then no. But I think if it's as long as they transform from a man or a woman to said wolf at some point, I think that counts.
Yeah, I would say that. And I actually found a movie with an actual wolf man. So there was no. So
he is like it's called the Wolf Man.
Yeah, he's literally a wolf man because I watched Full Moon High, where he's basically Teen Wolf. So I mean he looks like a wolf man, not a werewolf.
The one I have is a good thing you didn't watch it because it has one of I think one of Olivia's crushes in it. So, but it looks like it's a bunch of werewolves and wolfmans and wolfwomens and so. But I'm counting it because
did you watch Twilight?
No, I definitely did not watch that. I don't care if I sacrificed the challenge for it. I would not watch. I've watched maybe 8 seconds of that movie, and that was by accident.
I watched all the Twilights because I had to watch them because Olivia made me, and I had to watch all of them, and it was horrible.
Yeah, that's
no offense to anybody who likes Twilight. I mean, I'm not bashing your taste in movies.
I just not my
personally, it just wasn't marketed towards me. It wasn't my thing.
No,
Olivia loved them. So I mean, there's people.
No, I know a lot of people love them. Yeah, I'm not bashing them. I'm just saying for me.
Yeah, for me,
it's not my cup of tea. We're going with Emily's line. Remember, it's just not for me.
Yeah, it's just not for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
not that she said that about Twilight. I don't know how she feels about Twilight. But I'm going to ask her when we're done with this podcast. But it's just we had a whole thing because with a discussion with Ken too about that, where it's like we none of us like when someone just bashes a movie. We joke about it. We'll say movies kind of. We'll make it, but if you notice the way we do it, it's not like, boy, this movie stunk. It will say
it's not
like
mean. We don't say it out of mean-spirited. I mean, I'm going to tell the truth if I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell the truth about it. I'm not going to shy away from it. But at the
yeah.
same time, I'm not going to hold it. Some people get mad that somebody else liked it. I don't get mad that you liked it. If you had your reasons for liking it, that's fine.
Right. And I'm not going to bash anything because I know how hard people worked on it. No matter how bad it might look to you at the end. Trust me, I've been on both sides of it. I've seen horrible movies and I've helped make horrible student films. So let me tell you, there's still a lot of work involved in it. Whether the product matches like the big movies or the big Hollywood films coming out, but. No, yeah. So anyway, that was the point on that one. So yeah, that wasn't for us, the Twilight. So any Twilight fans out there, we apologize. We're not insulting your taste or your what you like.
But we do question your glittering vampires.
Yes, yeah. I'm not sure about that.
Extras on this one, Brian.
Oh, yeah, there is. That's true. There's a handful of extras here. It's got the brand new 4K restoration of the film, which is probably pretty good. Any of those, I noticed the 70s 4K ones look really good because they're clearer, but they still kind of have that 70s, like, feel to them. I feel like there's something about just those 70s movies that have a signature look, and the 4K seems to just capture it and embellish that rather than just making it really. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
They can't truly. It was never filmed in high def, so they can't truly make it true high definition, but they can make it clean and crisp, so you kind of get the feel of like a new 70s print.
Right. Yeah. I just feel something about that decade, the 70s.
I think they also used a lot of. I love the color in 70s films.
Right.
I just love that. Yeah,
speaking of that the new Argento film still, even though it's like new, it's like kind of has that vibe to it, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch all of it, but the parts I did watch, I was like, well, this is definitely a Dario Argento film. It's
God,
it's so like it's like his greatest hits.
It is. It literally is his greatest hits, as like of Argento, and that's, if you're an Argento fan like us, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, if it wasn't for certain technology, you would know that it was made. Like it was one of his new ones. You know,
right,
it's like, because if it wasn't for the technology they used, the look, the feel, the sound, the acting, everything in it is so like vintage Argento. I loved it. I think you guys check that out when it comes out. It was Shudder's surprise screening for October 1st when you're hearing this now, but it by the time you hear this, it's like just a week away and you get to see it if you missed it. It'll be on 7th, and we share thank them on social media. We should thank Shudder again, though, just out there, like how great that box they gave this year for us. Oh my God, they outdid themselves.
Yeah, it was amazing.
This year. I mean, an advent calendar, one of those like light up cinema light up boards, I guess. What do they call them? Cinema?
I don't even know what they call it, but it's a
There's
light,
a name. Yeah, cinema light up boxes, I think. And they literally sent us, I mean, with their little candies and stuff, they sent us actually projector, like mini projector, to watch movies
which I'm going
on,
to totally use to watch movies in the backyard with.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like, from what Tim said, he did a quick test. He said the audio is great. I haven't tested it in mine yet. I need to.
Yeah, I mean, it's those obviously it's not going to be like a super high-end projector because they're sending these out. But for what it is, I mean, the audio was really good on it. And, you're not gonna, it's not going to be like a super great picture. But if you get it on a screen, I mean, it's going to be plenty good enough for like backyard movie time.
Oh, my God,
or
yeah.
Like that.
Now I'm halfway to getting my backyard screen I wanted because now I have a little projector. Anyway, sorry. So beyond that, the final things are there's 2 versions of the film on there, an audio commentary by David Flint. Super 8mm cut down version, trailers, alternate scenes, publicity, parade of stills and posters. The music's like and a Mondo Macabro previews.
This next one is also from Mondo Macabro, and this is The Horrible Sexy Vampire from 1972, which is a weird title.
Yes.
Some kind of sadist, but not human, is murdering people. A doctor is convinced that the killings are the evil workings of a reclusive odd baron who died many years ago. This one has a lot of pubes in the trailer.
Yes. But look at the guy. You know what the Baron's name is? Baron von Vinegar.
Baron von Vinegar. Yeah.
Do you think like olive oil should fight him? Oh no, olive oil and vinegar go together. No, what do they need?
No,
what goes against
they do
vinegar?
go together. Yeah.
No, we need something against vinegar. I don't know. But anyway.
This has a brand new 4K restoration of the film. Audio commentary from David Flint and Adrian J. Smith. Man, David Flint's everywhere. Animated press book and publicity stills, and Mondo Macabro previews.
It's like you got Flint to start things, and it just went up in flames.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. That was terrible. Okay. Next one is Rising Sun Media. I think we had them debut like last Dismemberment, if I want to say correctly. But this one's Asura Girl from 2017. It says, in the time before World War II, a bloody conflict that erupts between villagers and Japan's special higher police forces. Based on this trailer, he said Crouching Tiger hidden plot because you cannot tell what's going on except a lot of people jumping around all over the place.
That's pretty good. Yeah, no extras on that one.
No extras for that. I guess hidden extras too.
Yeah. Next up, from our good friends at RLJ Entertainment, we have The Twin from 2022. Following the aftermath of a tragic accident that claimed the life of one of their twins, Rachel and Anthony relocate to the other side of the world with their surviving son. What begins as a time of healing in the quiet Scandinavian countryside soon takes an ominous turn when Rachel begins to unravel the torturous truth about her son and confronts the malicious forces that are trying to take hold of him. That looks pretty good. I'm going to check this one out.
Yeah, no, it definitely was a interesting, and it's obviously going to be on Shudder because it's RLJ. So if you want to check that one out, I'm sure Shudder will.
Yeah, you can pretty much substitute RLJ for Shudder because that's their. They own RLJ Entertainment Publishing. So.
Yeah, so basically that's all Shudder releases. Next one is from Scorpion releasing and Shredder. And no, it's not the Ninja Turtles. I found out the hard way. No, horror hits the slopes in this sexy slasher film about a gang of snowboarders on a one-way chairlift to terror. Featuring hot young stars, killer suspense, and snowboarding sequences to die for, Shredder is an ice-cold, rip-roaring scarefest that takes horror to a whole new altitude.
I mean, that sounds like an 80s VHS box, and I'm hoping it still has that tone to it.
From the trailer, it kind of looked like it.
Yeah, so.
But, and like I said, it looked exactly what you expected to. So, Tim, there you go. You can just... It's like Hot Dog the movie, but with, like... But, like, violence.
God. I still remember that.
I have that Blu-ray. It's like the special, like, producer cut of it on there.
Oh, my gosh. Next up, from Scorpion releasing, we have Night Visitor from 1989. I'm still reading ahead to Brian's comments and laughing. A student known for telling stories witnesses a murder, the latest in a series of satanic killings of hookers. Brian says, things are getting serious when you get a bearded Elliot Gould and Richard Roundtree.
Yeah, when they're together, that's like, I mean, one each is bad enough, stuff's going to go down, but...
Speaking of Richard Roundtree, he was in this film I watched for the horror challenge, The Haunting of the Mary Celeste. He was definitely
I remember that movie.
Yeah, he was the best thing in the movie. I mean, it's kind of forgettable, but he was great. This has a new master of the film, new interview with writer Randall Viskovich, director Rupert Hitzig, and editor Glenn Erickson. Theatrical trailer as well.
Yeah, bearded Elliot Gould, though. You look every time you see him bearded, something's going on.
Oh man, yeah.
Always serious, something bad. It's like Jim Cantor when he comes into your town.
Yeah, if you see bearded Elliot Gould, you're in for
you better like strap in, get your supplies. I don't know what you need, but the next one, which 15 times I read this the wrong way. I keep thinking this is from Rising Sun Media, and I keep thinking it's Alien Goodness, but it's Alien Goddess from 2022, and it says, here's one of these things where it's like a mile of dialogue. It says, the school seemed to be like any other school, but there was something hidden in its walls. One particular night, its secrets would finally be revealed to 3 groups of people who spend their, I don't know what's so specific, who spend the after hours in the old building, a late night photo shoot, an evening seminar for people who fear death. Oh, wait, there's 3 groups. Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay, I got to read this. It's weird the way they
formatted it.
Did it. Yeah. It says, anyway, there's 3 groups in the building. It's a late night photo shoot, an evening seminar for people who fear death, which isn't that all of us, and a secret meeting between 2 girls in love. They didn't know they wouldn't be able to leave, though. It says, on the other side of the threshold, an invisible and inexplicable wall of strangulation and lethal noise keep them trapped inside.
That's it seems to be their strangulation.
I don't understand what's going on. The trailer for this kind of like equally confusing as this synopsis, but it seems to be their destiny to get more and more entangled in the mysteries of that very night and to confront the wonder and the horror of an alien presence.
It'd probably be easy to get entangled in a wall of strangulation.
Yeah, well, it's an alien wall, maybe, so maybe it can strangle you.
Next up from Ronin Flicks, we have Curse 3, Blood Sacrifice. I don't know what happened to Curse 1 and 2, but they're not here this week.
Yeah, they've been released, I'm sure. But
this one's from 1991. In 1950s Africa, a tribal magician calls up a demon to kill Europeans. No extras, and as I think Brian summed up both of our thoughts. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I mean, because I remember Curse 1 and 2. I didn't think I even knew there was a Curse 3, but oh well. Next one is this is a new one, isn't it? Mainframe Pictures.
Yeah, I heard. There's a lot of new. You're getting a lot of new companies because they're releasing stuff for October. So
yeah, I need to get everything out. And this is Night at the Eagle Inn from 2021. It says fraternal twins spend a hellish night at the remote inn in their father disappeared from the night they were born. It could be interesting. It doesn't look terrible.
No, I kind of want to check it out.
I mean, it's not a disc I'm going to go out and buy sight unseen, but it's one I would check out if it was on streaming.
Lastly, before our pick of the week, we have Rising Sun Media's Built to Kill, being the number 2. This was from
followed by the sequel, To Built to Kill.
Yeah, this was from 2022. Continuing the cutting-edge tales of feminist horror from the original Built to Kill, this amped-up epic sequel pushes even more philosophical boundaries in the realm of horror, gore, comedy, action, and thrills, courtesy of leading independent filmmakers from France, Canada, and the USA. Includes No More God and Doctor, Those Who Can Die, and Nuke Them All. Anthology looks... I always like feminist horror stuff.
Yeah.
And female directors and...
what was that good one? Like X,
yeah. Was it? That was XXX.
Was it XX?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Double X. Yeah.
Double X.
That was a good one.
Yeah, because XXX was the Vin Diesel vehicle.
That's right, yeah.
And X was the recent Ty West vehicle. So I think XX was the anthology.
Yeah, there's two confusing titles there.
So yeah, I'm always on the lookout for.
And speaking of X, I've heard nothing but amazing things about Pearl too. So I need to see that.
I'm looking forward to that one as well. All right, Brian, bring us home with our pick of the week. Actually, you might be surprised that this was also my pick of the week.
I know,
based on my reaction to the series, but there's a reason for that. And that's because one of the films you can only get in this set is one of these series that I actually really, really enjoyed. So
yeah, which now means I'm gonna have to double dip unless I have to send Conan on the case to see if they're, because they kind of word it as almost like it might be released in the eventually separately. But anyway, it's from Paramount. It's Paranormal Activity: The Ultimate Chills Collection of 2007 to 2021. So it says, for the first time in one complete set, all 7 terrifying Paranormal Activity movies come together in Paranormal Activity: The Ultimate Chills Collection. This limited edition, it's a collector. See, that's all it had to say.
That's all it had to say, man.
That's it. Limited edition collector set includes the latest chapter on Blu-ray for the first time, Paranormal Activity: Next of Kin, which Tim and I actually really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And that was one of my favorite ones. I thought it was really good, which debuted exclusively on Paramount Plus. So in this, you get Paranormal Activity, including the theatrical and unrated with alternate endings. This basically, I think this is the way all the singles came, so I don't even need to go through this.
Yeah.
Until we get to the last one, Paranormal Activity: Next of Kin, though, it comes with over 20 minutes of deleted scenes and an alternate ending, which I definitely want to see now because, like I said, that was one of our favorite ones. And then this is another exclusive to the set, Unknown Dimension: The Story of Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, that's a
supposedly
documentary
that you could not get either. So yeah, I'm gonna have to pick this up just for that.
I'm fortunate that I don't have any of the Paranormal Activities yet on Blu-ray, so this is a no-brainer for me to pick this up and just get them all in one fell swoop. So yeah. I'll be doing that. So to recap,
Monolith doesn't mind duplicates, so
that's true. Yeah. October 11th, we had Mark of the Vampire from 1935, the Universal Classic Monsters Icons of Horror Collection Volume 2. Disturbing Behavior, 1998. Smoke and Mirrors, the story of Tom Salvini from 2015. No, I'm just Tom Savini. They haven't released the Salvini documentary yet. Barbarians from 2021. Barbarians, plural. Love Brides of the Blood Mummy from 1973, which I have to watch soon. The Horrible Sexy Vampire from 1972. Asura Girl from 2017. The Twin from 2022. Shredder from 2021. Night Visitor from 1989. Alien Goddess from 2022. Curse 3 Blood Sacrifice from 1991. Night of the Eagle Inn from last year. And Built to Kill from this year, which is a female feminist horror anthology. Sounds really cool. Our pick of the week was a Paranormal Activity Ultimate Chills box set of all 7 Paranormal Activity films and the Unknown Dimension documentary, which is really cool. So, yeah, that's the first half of the month, and we got a big second half of the month coming up, which we'll have for you on October 18th. So tune in for that. My voice is shot. I know me and Brian still have to record our Busch Gardens recap, so we will close it out here, but... if you guys tell us what you're buying and what you're watching this month. Of course, we got our horror movie challenge going on strong this year, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm having a blast with it already, even only 2 days into it. I'm just having a ball with it. So I hope you guys are enjoying it as well.
Yes, enjoy.
All right, see you guys later.